Hi, I'm Peter. This is the Peter on Health channel. This video is called I Attended a Conference Over the Weekend. Just got back last evening. I left early Friday morning. So it was in a big American city, about 200 attendees, and vast majority were people my age, a bunch older. I just recently turned 60, so old people conference. And to boot, the vast majority of the attendees were lawyers. So think of that, 200 old lawyers. Well, I told people, after the first couple conversations I had the Friday night, it struck me, right? I said, I've never met you before, you never met me, but I know two things about you. Number one, you're a pariah among your peers. And number two, you know you're on the right side of history and you feel like you can do something about it. And I said that as an intro to like 15 to 20 people out of the 200 I met over the weekend. Everybody smiled and agreed with me, right? So in that way, we were like brothers and sisters. We were colleagues. And I told the first group of people, it kind of reminded me of a time in my life. I was around 20, give or so. This is like 40 years ago. And I was playing basketball at an elite level, Canadian national team in college, and then I played in the pro league in Europe after that. And in the pro league in Europe, think of it, you're a 20-year-old boy, your testosterone's at the peak of your entire life, and you're playing in front of thousands of people and often tens of thousands of people, screaming, rabid fans, and you're interesting girls, as back then boys were boys and girls were girls, and but it was totally flipped. Instead of us chasing the girls were chasing us. So think of that. I'm a 20-year-old boy. I'm playing the sport I love in front of all these fans, and the girls are chasing us. And they're paying me to do that. I'm like, what the hell? How did I end up here? You know what I mean? And I said, this reminded me of that, like the kind of stuff, the cases that we're going to get into. And the people laughed. It was a funny story. But at the end of the conference, by the third or fourth day, it reminded me of an earlier memory. And I didn't tell anybody this story, but my earliest memory is I'm a 4-year-old boy. It's around 1967, and I'm on our back porch facing the rising sun, and it's early spring, and the sun is warming the porch, and I'm like a cat, sitting in that warm sun, feeling the love of the spring sun. And there's a screen door behind me, and through the screen door I can smell cooking coming from the kitchen, and my loving mother is making food for me, you know. And the feeling I had at that time was like there was no place I'd rather be, no place I needed to be. And the loving arms of home was wrapped around me, and even if I wanted to go anywhere, I couldn't, and I wouldn't even want to. And that's what I felt like at the end of the conference. I didn't want to leave. These were my brothers and sisters, and I didn't want to leave. And the fact that I was at a conference with a bunch of old lawyers, men and women, and that's the memory that I had, I can tell you it was a very eventful conference for me. So anyway, that's all I'll say about it here. But funny how strange things in life and the least things you'd expect sometime bring you the most pleasant, memories.